Welcome back to your hour. Joining us now on Zoom is James Barfield with What's Up Wichita. Hi, James. Who are you going to beat up on today?
Well, good afternoon, Cheryl. Uh, I want to tell you, I'm alarmed, and I don't know if it's just me, and I don't know if it's my ignorance of the law, or I don't know what's going on, but I'm alarmed by the number of police shootings that we've had in and around the Wichita area during the, 5 months, a little better than 5 months of this year. It was reported for yesterday by the sheriff of Sedgwick County that the FBI had been involved in 10 deadly shootings by police officers within the first 6 months of this year. And, well, it's actually not 6 months, 5 months. But, I'm from the old school, I guess, and maybe it's my ignorance, but the sheriff mentioned the fact that I guess a lot of this is caused by, he says, drug use. Well, drug use has been around for a very long time. Cocaine, crack, all that stuff. But he mentioned the fact of fentanyl and other drugs like that. Now, even with that in mind, my old school knowledge tells me that police were at one point in time trained to shoot the threat, not shoot to kill. In other words, if somebody was advancing upon you, you shoot them in the leg to stop them. You don't shoot them in the head to kill them. And now today, when we have so much mental illness amongst our communities, that's even more reason. And I think in the first place, I'm going to say something. I don't think that armed uh, uh, law enforcement should be the first responder to a mental situation. I just don't. I think we should have mental prepared people who are prepared to deal with these mental people to be the first ones on the scene. And if they cannot get the person under control or at least sit and listen or whatever, then you call for officers to come, not to shoot. And too many times we find out that's exactly what happens. Officers in, and the first thing they want to do is shoot. I mean, we don't spend enough money. We don't spend enough attention. We don't spend enough time to learn how to effectively and efficiently deal with mental people, mentally unstable people. Certainly, those people are going to act differently than a normal person. And they do things that we wouldn't do. But, I just don't think it's a good idea to have police officers as the first responders. I just don't. And I need the police department, the sheriff's department, the mental health community here will admit that we don't have enough trained mental people who know how to deal with this, and that's why we resort to sending officers, law enforcement officers. We keep getting the same results. They don't understand what's going on. And I just think if at the rate we're going, we might have, by the end of this year, we could have 20 to 25 homicides committed by police officers. Now, and I'm going to just say this. One is too many. 20, 25 is 25 times too many. But I think it's unnecessary in a large percentage of these cases. It's shooting to kill everybody and then ask questions later is not the answer. Secondly, you don't get to understand the person's motivation, the person's intent, if they're dead. And police officers are quick to say, after shooting someone, I felt my life was in danger. Well, how was your life in danger when oftentimes the person that you shoot does not have a weapon, at least not a gun, I think there was a couple of cases here. I think last week, I think maybe one guy might have had a hammer. You don't have to shoot that guy in the head. I mean, you can shoot that guy in the arm. You don't all you want to do is disarm the person. You don't have to kill him. And I'm just alarmed at what the difference is and how officers who are sworn to serve and protect are now taking the law into their own hands and being judge, jury, and, I just don't understand it. I don't think that's the proper way for a society to conduct itself. I think law enforcement is lacking in training, like handle situations. And if you think the first thing you need to do is pull your gun, then we're in a bad situation. And I feel very sorry for not only this community, but it seems to be happening more and more all over the country.